Hello duelists, welcome back to the Crown Corp channel. My name is Bram and today I have a new project update for you in which I'm going to talk about the new version of the Smart Duel Disk. So this is version 0.10.0. It's getting a bit confusing with these version names, I should probably look into that. But yeah, in a previous video I mentioned that I was working on some essential features that the app still needed to be able to duel properly. Things like a phase system, dice roll, a Lifepoints calculation system, those kinds of things. And all those features are added in this version of the Smart Duel Disk. It is currently already available to staff and to patrons. We're actually playing some duels right now to test the application. And if this new release is stable, then we can publish it to the app and Play Store so everyone can enjoy it. The updated version of the Smart Duel Disk will probably arrive in the stores somewhere next week, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, let's go over everything that's new in this version of the Smart Duel Disk. So yeah, I'm in a duel right now, and if you've used the previous version of the app, you'll see that there are some differences. For example, you can see my life points in the bottom left corner of the screen, and you can see my opponent's life points in the top right corner of the screen. There's also this new section in the middle with some actions. The icon on the left can be used for a coin flip, the icon on the right can be clicked for a dice roll, and there's also the button in the middle with DP, which stands for draw phase. That is used to interact with the phase system, but more on that later. You can also see that there is a new zone right next to the deck, which is the skill card zone. So for those of you who don't know it, we're actually using the speed duel format for this project. That's why there are also 3 monster zones and 3 spell and trap zones. And skill cards, they're quite special. You can sometimes use them to get out of a bricky situation. For example, I'm playing with my deck right now, and as you can see, I have a mix of Harpy and Amazoness cards. And those cards usually don't really go together, but with this skill card, I can actually make use of that. So if I have an Amazoness and a Harpy in my hand or on the field, I can do certain things. So yeah, I'm just going to activate this card. This is what it looks like. And actually, I want to use its effect now. So if you have an Amazoness monster and a Harpy monster in your hand, reveal them, then draw 1 card. So yeah, I'm actually going to use my skill. To be able to do that, I use the declare option when I click the card. And yeah, you heard it right, we now have sound effects. Not yet for everything, for example, not for monster attacks yet. I'm still looking into that, but most of the actions now have a sound effect, which is really nice. So yeah, I declare the effect. I now have to show my opponent 1 Harpy monster and then 1 Amazoness monster that I have in my hand. I can't see them anymore because they are currently revealed. And you also see that when they are revealed and you tap them again, there's actually the option to hide them again or to give the card to your opponent. We'll go into that later. But yeah, I'm just going to hide them for now, and I can actually draw a card. And yeah, those are just some of the new features. Something else, let's say that I don't really want this Harpy Lady Sisters right now. This would be illegal in a duel, but I'm going to shuffle it back into the deck. And when we want to do that, you can actually choose whether you want to add it to the top of the deck, to the bottom of the deck, or just add it and then shuffle the deck. We'll use add and shuffle now. And you see that there's also like the blue glow effect and also a sound effect for that. So as I already showed you earlier, it's also possible to give a card to your opponent. So let's see how that works. So my opponent attacked my Amazoness Chainmaster and it's destroyed. But when it is destroyed and sent to GY, I can pay 1500 life points, look at my opponent's hand, and then add 1 of their monsters from their hand to my hand. So Amazoness Chainmaster is destroyed. I'm going to use her effect. And you see that when I tap my life points, this calculator thingy pops up that you can use to add or subtract life points. And so now that I paid the cost, I can look at my opponent's hand. My opponent only has 1 monster, which is Slifer the Sky Dragon, and my opponent can now actually give me that card, so it is removed from their hand and it is added to mine. And now it is mine to use however I want, so I can summon it. But something I can't do is add it to my GY or to my opponent's GY. When it is destroyed, it would normally go to my opponent's GY, but to be able to do that, you actually need to add it back to your hand, reveal it, give it back to your opponent, and then they are able to move the cards to the graveyard. I did it this way to make it a bit easier for myself, but also in real life, when an opponent uses one of my monsters, I actually rather have them give it back to me than that they just move it to the zone they think it should go to. Something else that was necessary for the app is the ability to add and remove counters. Cards like Skilled White Magician need counters, and the way you actually add a counter to a card is just by tapping it. You see the add counter option, and once it has a counter, you can also remove that counter or increase it even further. So yeah, those are just some of the new things. Let's go over the items here in the middle of the screen. So we have a coin flip and a dice roll. It has a sound effect, and it displays the result at the bottom of the screen. Unfortunately, there isn't some kind of cool animation for it right now. Yeah, for example, if I tap the coin here, you can see that the result is heads. And if I tap the dice, you can see that the dice roll result is 4. Now for the phase system, when it's blue, that means it's your turn. When it's red, that means it's your opponent's turn. You can only interact with it when it's your turn, so when it's blue. And when you tap on it, you can see that the current phase is selected. And then you can choose another phase that you want to go to, or you can pass the turn to the opponent. So yeah, I'm just going to go to my standby phase now. I tap on it again, and I see that the draw phase is now grayed out, so you can go back in time. Once you go to a certain phase, you can't like undo that action. So the same thing happens when I go to the main phase now, and when I tap on it again, you see that I can't go to the standby phase anymore. But yeah, let's see what happens when we click on pause turn. The button becomes red. When we press it, it does nothing. And it's currently the draw phase of our opponent. So yeah, we have to wait until they pass their turn, or maybe they finish the game. Those are all the things that I added in this new version of the Smart Duel Disk. So I think these are all the duel essentials that we still needed to be able to play the game properly. While playing, we discovered that there are still some nice to haves that we might add in the future, like for example, the ability to declare a card from the graveyard, or maybe a target system if you want to target a certain card. But yeah, as long as you play in real life or you talk over voice chat with your opponent, it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to show you today. As I said at the beginning of the video, this version of the Smart Duel Disk is already available for the staff and for patrons. We're going to test it a bit more, and then we're going to release it to the public. I think you can expect it somewhere next week. So yeah, now that the Smart Duel Disk can finally be used properly to be able to duel, you can expect some more videos on the YouTube channel of me or other people dueling each other. And yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to, because I know there hasn't been a lot of content on the channel lately because I've just been focusing on development mostly. But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be more content available in the near future. But that's all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I also hope to see you in the next one.